Greetings! It is I, Countess Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It's time to talk about 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. I'm getting right into it. I'm getting back into the combat. I'm getting back into the fighting rules. So let's talk about the actions. Your combat actions you can take. Now, of course, you can make an attack. You can try to hit with a weapon. You can cast a spell. You can dash. When you dash, you move twice your speed. Basically, when you dash, you get an extra movement of your speed. So you move twice your speed because you get your normal, you can move your speed. Dash gives you that extra, you can move. You can disengage. When you disengage, it's of course an action, and it means you can make your movement without incurring attacks of opportunity. You can dodge. Things would get disadvantaged when making attacks against you. You're specifically dodging out of the way, and you get advantage to getting to dexterity-based saves during this time. You can help someone. When you use that help action, it gives them advantage to a skill check or an attack roll. You can try to hide. If you're trying to hide and get like a stealthy advantage, you can do that there. You can ready, which means you prep an action in response to something else. If I choose to ready, I'm saying like, oh, if something happens over there, I will do this action. I'm readying it. It means it's more of an interrupting that person over there, but I'm not necessarily just automatically attacking them. You can search. Looking around just a general area, like on your turn would be a action, and you can use an item or an object. So if there's something like a lever, or there's something like kind of object you'd have that you'd use, that would be using it, like drinking a potion. So let's talk about making attack. You choose a target that you're going to attack. You start looking what modifiers you have. Maybe they have modifiers from cover. Maybe you have advantage or disadvantage against them. You consider all these and you begin adding them together. Then, of course, you make a d20 roll. You add your bonus to the attack and you subtract any kind of penalties that you would have based on the circumstances. You might roll advantage or disadvantage if you're gaining them. And using that d20 roll, you see if you hit. Now, of course, there's modifiers you get. Like strength normally modifies melee, and dexterity normally modifies range. Of course, there's exceptions based on the weapon you're using, but that's basically, those are the basics you're going to add. And you're going to use those plus your proficiency bonus to figure out how much you're getting out of the bonus to attack normally. Other things could give you other bonus modifiers to this attack. When you're rolling, you're going against the target's AC. So you're targeting the target's AC that you have to roll, and you have to meet or beat it in order to hit the target. Now, 1 is an automatic miss, and a 20 is an automatic hit and a critical hit. Now, they do give rules in the book if you're fighting an unseen attacker. This is traditionally if you're fighting something that's invisible, they do tell you what kind of penalties and bonuses you'd have, or what kind of bonuses it would have, what kind of penalties you would have. Now, ranged combat, as I've sort of talked about before, have a short range and a long range. If you're at a short range, that means you get no penalties, you just roll the attack. If you're at long range, or if you're fighting up to long range, you have disadvantage. Beyond that, you can't hit. Now, also, you do get disadvantage to range attacks if you're in melee with someone. So if I walk up to someone and try to bow them to the face, I would have disadvantage. Granted, I still might hit, but I'm trying to like do it point blank right in their face, and I'm sort of like, yes, I'm not leaving myself open to you, or yes, I'm not making this more difficult for me by making it that I'm right in your face trying to do this. Now, when fighting in melee, you're most likely going to have a reach of 5 foot, at least you as a character. That means you're going to have to be right up next to someone effectively. Now, certain weapons might give you more reach, and other creatures might have greater reach also when we're talking about it, but that basically tells you how close you have to be to attack. Now, you can fight unarmed. Most people, it gives you the basic rules for basically trying to punch someone and fight them with just your fists. The other important thing is opportunity attacks. If something moves out of your reach, you can make an opportunity attack as a reaction. Anything would get this, even your enemies would get it from you. So basically it's like, if I'm moving away from someone and not like using the withdrawal, someone can punch me, you know, that sort of thing. If someone moves away from me and they're not using a disengage, I might try to get like a free attack on them because they're leaving themselves open while moving away. It's the same in retrospect if someone's moving up and might move through your reach or something. If I have extra reach, I might get an opportunity attack as a reaction in there. Now, it gives the rules for using 2 weapons where you get an extra offhand attack as a bonus action. You get some penalties to your attacks for doing that. They also give the rules for sort of grappling someone, where you'd use, one side would either use their strength, athletics, or dexterity, acrobatics, versus the other one using the same. Which means you could either use strength or dexterity when grappling. And this is sort of holding on to someone. You can also shove them using the similar rules. You can also push them down and trip them. It's either strength or dexterity versus strength or dexterity, effectively. Either side could use either. So I could, try to use my, maneuvers to try to trip you, or I could try to use brute strength to try to trip you. On the other hand, if they had maneuvers, they could try to use them to block me from doing it, or they could just power through with strength to try to block me from knocking them over. So that's all I wanted to go over today. I've gone over some more about combat. I talked about some of the basic actions you can do. I talked about the basic attack and some special combat rules you can use. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I missed, leave it in the comments below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. It's a great way of showing your support for the channel and the Empire. Please subscribe if you already haven't. We're always looking for more citizens in the Empire, more members. Please share this video if you know anyone that would enjoy it or would learn anything from it. And until the next time, I bid you farewell.